I'm right now being joined by WION's correspondent Molly Gambhir, who is joining us from outside Westminster. Molly, good to see you. You know, you're witnessing history today. There are a lot of people who've been camping there overnight to get a closer spot to that route of the coronation. You've spoken to many of them. Give us a sense of excitement there.
Rohit, camping in this weather, braving the rain and come what may is definitely not easy, but that's not dampened the enthusiasm of many of these people, as we've been showing you reports from the mall. You know, they have been camping there through the night with their sleeping bags, with limited food supplies, because they wanted to get as close as possible to the coronation procession. The mall is the stretch that leads. That is a part of the coronation procession route. So from Buckingham Palace, when the royal couple will be making their way towards Westminster Abbey, these people will be getting, as people have been calling it, the first row seats, to be able to catch a glimpse of the royal couple, and hoping that they will be waving to them as well. That's the kind of commitment that these people have been showing. They've been, some of them, camping for days as well. There are children who are dressed as royal figures, and the pomp and show, of course, is just a part of the excitement. The other part is the security arrangements. This is the biggest security operation in British history. More than 11,000 police officers patrolling the streets. Road closures, as we've been telling you, started yesterday itself in preparation for this event. There are people who've come in from around the world to be able to witness this event in person. The others we've been speaking to also talking about how this is their chance to witness history. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event, and interestingly, some of them we've been speaking to were 3 or 4 years old or 5 years old when the last coronation happened. So of course they have hazy memories of that one, so they wanted to make sure that they witness this ceremony in person and not watching on television. Hundreds of thousands of people will be lining up the streets, already are, dotting the streets, the entire coronation procession route as it makes its way down Whitehall to Parliament Square, and the Parliament right behind me right now, and Westminster Abbey as well, where the coronation service will begin at 11 a.m. local time. That's just in an hour and a half from now. 10:20 a.m. local time is when the royal couple is expected to leave from Buckingham Palace, and that's when we will actually witness the enthusiasm levels soaring, because that's the moment that the people have been waiting for.
All right, Molly, before you go, you spoke about people who were very young when the last coronation happened. But there are many, many young people there who are camping there, who will be witnessing coronation for the first time in their lives. What does monarchy mean to them?
You know, it's quite interesting because when you talk about the locals here and the sentiment on the ground, the mixed bag of reactions we've been getting in, but the common thread is that there is a lot of curiosity attached to the royal family, to their activities. Of course, the pomp and show that comes with it, the quintessential pageantry that comes with any such royal ceremony. And that is one of the reasons why today, when we speak to people, the larger sentiment is going to be that of celebration. But the questions cannot be forgotten, especially vis-a-vis the cost of living crisis that the UK is grappling with. And that is the other part of the story. The enthusiasm levels, though, continue to soar in the run-up to the ceremony, as people have been talking about the fact that this is a moment that they did not want to miss. They could have chosen to, just watch at home, sitting on the couch, on the television screens. But no, they wanted to make their way all the way to Buckingham Palace. And here we have one of the supporters as well. Are you here from London?
I am from London. Coming to see our King Charles III be crowned. My ancestors used to fight for Charles I. So.
Oh, wow. So that's just a sample of the enthusiasm, Rohit. It's a party. It's a 3-day long party. It's a nationwide celebration. And we will be getting you all those glimpses of the celebrations through the day as well. The street parties, of course, as well.
All right, Molly, enjoy the party. We'll keep coming back to you as the day progresses and that ceremony begins. Thanks very much for joining us for the moment. All right, so let's go across to Nicholas Nugent, senior journalist and former BBC editor. He is also with us, talking us through this historic day as this ceremony progresses. Remember, it's just less than an hour from now when the King and the Queen Consort will leave the Buckingham Palace in that royal procession to reach Westminster Abbey. Let's go across to Mr. Nugent. Mr. Nugent, you know, we were talking about quite a few firsts at this ceremony. You know, what we will witness today in some ways a relic of the past, a 1,000-year-old sort of a ceremony. The anointing, for example. This taking place in the 21st century. Do you think that will surprise many people?
Well, it won't surprise many Britons because, of course, it's the system we grew up being familiar with, even if it is, for most people, the first time they've witnessed the coronation itself. But I think you mentioned it earlier, we have this sense of continuity, the fact that we don't elect a head of state. It just happens naturally. It may be a sign of the past, but, you know, it's been going for 1,000 years in Britain, and I don't see any pressure to change it. There are plenty of people who regard themselves as Republicans who would like to change the system, but they're still in a minority. Indeed, I saw some statistics that said the support for the monarchy has fallen a bit in in the last 10 years, but only from 70% to 60%. So it still has the support of most British people. I tell you what I like about this. It's completely non-political. We don't have political parties involved in this occasion, and the people in the Abbey to witness this occasion represent all political streams. But there's absolutely no politics about this occasion. It doesn't. You don't get there because you're a prime minister. You get to attend because you're a head of state or indeed a fellow monarch. And that, I think, is a very big difference between the monarchical system and the Republican system. And they both got their merits. But I don't think there's much pressure for change. And on the whole, there is support. Even if people do not jump up and down and say, I support the new king, you know, long live the king. We are used to our system.
Yes.
It's just well established. So it is, for me, it's the non-political nature of it, and indeed the sense of continuity. Nothing's going to change in a hurry. But when you've been through the sort of political turmoil this country's been through over the past year, with 3 prime ministers, it's rather nice to have the continuity represented by the monarchy.
All right, Mr. Nugent, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thanks very much for joining us and sharing your perspective on this rather historic day. Let's in fact now cut across to what's happening at Westminster Abbey.